Hard sports all plays. Yeah. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays. Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah, no Evan. Like, man, fuck Evan. I'm kidding. Welcome to the branch off show, the He's on Fire podcast. He's on Fire After Dark. Welcome. I'm glad you guys, come either now or later. Let's bring in, our other co-host. But Amit, before you say anything, I just want to say I'm glad we got this thing finally rolling. The world's been hectic the last, month or so. I mean, sports, just the country by itself, and just overall life, dad life and stuff. So I'm happy to have you here. Like you're busy most of the time. You got shit going on. Talk away. Tell us how that was. And
no, I appreciate this, and I love the idea that we're doing this after dark thing, because we're not going to talk about the Suns because that's just painful for a lot of us. If you see over my shoulder, the Suns banner that I usually have is hanging upside down until they fix that. They need to fix that somehow. And I promise you that's going to stay that way until they do something. Okay.
Yeah.
Until I know what happened, until we get an explanation on why they just choked. Because what I'm hearing, now is just, it's too many like rumors. It's like, okay, CP3 was hurt. DA was pissed off. But like, explain to me why Torrey Craig sucked. Explain to me why Cam Johnson and a lot of these other guys sucked. Like, explain that to me. Even Booker, like in double teams, he couldn't get out of double teams. So I don't want to get too much into it. I'm gonna save for the big pod, but yeah, man, I'm good, dude. I came back. I was visiting my in-laws in Chicago. It was great spending time with them. My wife and my daughter are still there. Me and my son came back. This dude's sleeping right now. Hopefully he stays asleep. So that's what gives me the opportunity to do this right now.
Yeah. Well, it is the After Dark show. We're starting a little later than usual. The kids are in bed. But the stories keep on coming in. The entertainment keeps on going. What's funny is like just random thought. I was watching this. I was watching TikTok with my girlfriend's spouse, baby mama, and this TikTok came up, and it was like, I don't know if you're on TikTok like that, but there's this page called Lumberland. They make like baseball bat mugs and stuff. They're really cool, but I'm not a baseball guy. And so they have like these little segments, and they ask questions and stuff. And one of the recent TikToks that they put out was like, what's one of the worst endings to like a show or a movie like ever? And like by mass consensus, it was Lost. And then my girlfriend, she was all like what's Lost? Like was it really that bad? And I'm just like, man, she really don't know about Lost like that, and how god awful that ending was. But at the same time, there was that writer strike in the middle, and then it like after that, everything just didn't make sense. And just like how it ended, I'm not going to spoil it, but at the same time, the show's been out for like 15 years at this point. Like if it slips up, it's not our fault. You just haven't gotten around to it.
It's already out there. You're going to know.
Yeah.
Or you should know.
But yeah.
So what's funny is I equate the Phoenix Suns 21-22 season. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
No, that's on my list right now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. I don't know how to tell you this. The last two seasons were so bad that what's up, Evan?
Coach?
I never went back to rewatch it. I never went back to talk about it. Even one of my friends, he works in graphic arts, and he's going to do some promos for the House of Dragon, which is a prequel series to
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, and I always told him to watch it. I'm like, he's my best friend. I'm like, you need to watch the show. You need to watch the show. And now I'm like, yeah, you can get disappointed. He's like, I have to watch it. I'm like, yeah, you can get disappointed on your own. I'm like, don't read the spoilers. Just get disappointed on your own, because that's what the Phoenix Sun season was. You built a show that was so hyped that when it got to the end, it fucking failed miserably. And spoiler alert, I'm sorry to tell you that. You can watch it and you can have your own opinion, but I'm just telling you from the people that read books, which I read a few of the books, not all of them, but I read a few of them. And I watched the entire show multiple times, and it was terrible at the end. Terrible.
Yeah,
Terrible.
it was like I dedicated 2 weeks of my life, fully invested. It was during like summer break when I was in high school. Just totally killed through it. I was so into it. And like I read one book, but I'm not like a book guy. I just ended up reading it. And it's just like it's frustrating, like as like someone that really loves like movies and entertainment in general, like yourself. And like like if you're gonna put together a show, you got to have an ending planned out. Like you can't just make it up as you go.
Yeah.
The ending's never satisfying. And what Westville says right here, Breaking Bad has one of the best endings to a show ever, in my opinion. In my opinion, it ended in the most perfect way. But we'll get to all the TV show stuff just in a little bit. Let's slow our roll. Like we're excited here, but first, I do want to address sort of the elephant, like in the room. Being the country right now. Like we're not going to make this podcast political or anything like that. That's not really our intention. But the last month, 3 weeks has been crazy. Mass shootings and tax prices going up like crazy. It's like $5 over here now. I could only imagine what it is in LA right now. But yeah, just to comment on everything that's happened the last 3 weeks. I'm sick of saying thoughts and prayers. This stuff just keeps on happening, and now I'm a father, and I have a 1-year-old. It's going to be a while before she's in daycare or preschool or elementary school and stuff. And watching that just absolutely broke me. Like when Sandy Hook happened, I was pretty young. I didn't fully understand what happened. I think that was in 2014.
Yeah,
was that
2012?
2012? Yeah. So I was only in the 6th grade. I mean, I knew it was serious, but I just couldn't really put myself in a position like that. Then Parkland happened a few years ago. That was really bad too. But this stuff just keeps on happening, and like you can love your country and be critical at the same time. Like obviously, there's some things that need to change and stuff. I support the Second Amendment. It was jotted down for a reason, even though a lot of things in that need to be updated. But we're not going to get into that like right now. I just want to say, if you have any family members, you haven't talked to in a bit, or you have siblings that you don't get along with, at the end of the day, it's not worth just all the trouble of negative thoughts and stuff. Because after I saw what happened in Texas with that shooting, like I like everything that I've been stressing out for the past like couple weeks and stuff just totally just went out the window. Life is too precious, and you gotta love everybody that's around you. But Amit, did you want to say anything about what's been going on in the last month?
Yeah, I mean it's really tough to, like, we're talking about things that are like trivial compared to like really what's happening. I used to go to work in Alabama, like used to fly there a lot. And I understand where if you live in a place like where you're in the middle of nowhere, like you need a weapon, not because of other people, but just because of animals or whatever it is. I fully understand why you need a gun, a shotgun, or, a small gun, but you don't need a machine gun. There's no reason that you need a machine gun. And you talked about some of these events, and one of the events that actually the Vegas event happened on my birthday.
Yeah. Wow,
October
yeah,
1st,
it was, huh? Yeah.
2017, I want to say. And that really hurts me because imagine being like born on September 11th, right? But for me, like it's not one of those things that I shake off. Like every birthday, like I sit and think about that event. And I think about the people. I think about how scared they were running through the crowds. I think about like just like there was 500 people that got shot, bro. Like it's insane. That's a
Insane.
military event. Like that's not
Mhm.
that just shouldn't happen in the US. So I would just plead that if you are a gun advocate, a protector of the Second Amendment, that you really think about what it means to carry a firearm like an AR, a weapon, or the AR-15 or AK-47, any of those weapons. They do not need to be in the hands of civilians. That's all I'll say. And
Yeah,
prayers and thoughts to everyone.
yeah, like I've always been, iffy with ARs and stuff. Like I get the home defense argument and stuff, but if we're keeping it a buck, if you've shot an AR before, they're really easy to use. But when it comes to home defense, that's not what you want. In a sense, you want like a shotgun. You don't need to entirely be too accurate and stuff. But if you are a responsible gun owner and you care about gun rights and gun privileges and stuff, because at the end of the day, like guns is a privilege, just like everything else in this country. It's not like uh, it was a right when it came to like muskets and shit, but times have changed. No one in the 1700s could have predicted the evolution of like how like military graded the world is just by itself. So like if you are a gun owner and stuff, a responsible gun owner, I'm not like, I feel like any common sense thinking person wouldn't want to take that away from you. You invested all that money, invested all that time with acquiring those guns, but I feel like you need to be on the same page when it comes to licensing different classes of weapons. I know like down here in AZ, it's very easy to acquire these weapons. With a handgun, you have to be 21, but you can get it through loopholes with buying it through a third party, private sale, or anything like that. Like right when I turned 21, I got emails from Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop about buying ARs and stuff. And the last time I've been into a Bass Pro Shop was when I was like 10 years old. So like, I don't want to come on here and say, vote for these politicians and stuff. And because, like no matter who we vote for, they know what, their agenda is and stuff. My recommendation is don't donate to these people. Don't donate.
Well,
don't
donate to the NRA. Definitely
don't
not
donate to the
donate
NRA.
to the NRA.
Yeah.
All right. And if you're about smart gun rights, there's a lot of Democrats that support that too.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just telling you in this case, like I'm always trying to be in the middle, but like in this case, like I don't see where there's any Republicans that are saying like smart gun rights are the rule. And I think that's coming from the left. And so that's why I'm saying to support them in this particular case.
No, absolutely. And there's just too many holes when it comes to just laws with just weapons by itself and stuff. Like it's very like gray, very broad, just like every other law in this country. So like again, like I'll go on record saying I'm so thankful that I was born in this country, but at the same time, I love this country so much to the point where I want to see positive change going forward. And I think weapons, like fixing this sort of issue, at least having stricter gun laws, having psychological tests and stuff, actually going to training classes and knowing how to use these weapons, put in the time to actually, be licensed and stuff like this, because literally everything else in this country is regulated to a certain extent when it comes to driving. Like you can't even pull off the lot without having car insurance. Like they're not going to let you unless if you get some beater car from like Cactus Jack out here. So just everything out here is regulated to a certain extent, and the guns is like the loosest out of everything that you can acquire. It's one of the deadliest things you can buy as well. But yeah, again, I support the Second Amendment. If you're a responsible gun owner, congratulations. I'm glad you take it as seriously as it should be taken. But like, it's you got to think about everybody else's safety. I know it's your family at the end of the day, it's your well-being, but there's more to life than just what meets your eye and stuff. My family's very important to me. When I have the funds, I'll probably acquire a gun, but like if a bunch of licensing stuff comes with that, I'm willing to do that for the safetyness and push forward with just the overall change in this country. So what's up, Roy? Nice to see some faces in here and stuff. Yeah, don't donate to the NRA. They're a bunch of
And listen, if you have a differing opinion, like if you got an opinion you want to share, we're willing to hear that too.
Absolutely.
Because like we want to talk about it in like from other perspectives. I live in LA. I mean, Jay lives in Arizona, and Evan lives in Utah. But we're willing to hear all that.
Yeah, like I have like family members on the right wing side of things, and they're very into guns and stuff, and they're very safe, and they respect the law to a T, which that's what I really admire about them and stuff. And I've always been wary about guns, and like they're fun to shoot. I'm not gonna lie, like I'll be mad too if the government wanted to regulate the guns even more. But like at this, like I said before, like stuff needs to change. These shootings keep on happening. It's like, of course, it's a mental health thing, but mental health is an issue all across the world. It's not just here that's the biggest problem. It's not what's in the food. It's not like what's on TV. It's not what's being broadcasted on Fox and CNN. It's like mental health is an issue everywhere. Like Australia, they got rid of it. The UK, they got rid of it. But we have a bigger population. We have a more in-depth constitution and stuff. And I totally get it. But things need to change, and these politicians just aren't doing it. Especially Abbott. He's been fucking Texas over for a while now, and in this short little reign. But if anybody has any other counter opinions about just politics in general, I try to keep up as much as possible, just to keep everybody updated. I know the baby formula shortage is coming to an end. I've been seeing it in stores recently, so that's good. If anybody has a kid on the way or has a baby, don't be, scared. The formula is coming back into the stores. But politics aside, thoughts and prayers, I'll say it one last time, to just all the lives lost in the last couple of weeks. Buffalo, Texas, and there was just a hospital shooting. I forget where it was. Do you know where that was?
Tulsa,
Oklahoma. Yeah. So, the story behind that?
The guy, he wanted to shoot the surgeon that did the surgery on him because he was still in pain.
Yeah.
And it was like only like a week. I mean, and he bought an AR-15 the same day or the day before or something like that. Anyways, dude, let's get into fun stuff, man. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. It's definitely a downer. Yeah, we'll definitely move on. But this is what the show is going to be. We're going to touch on a little bit of everything. That's why I really wanted to do this show. But starting off is just sports. What's going on? This is the He's on Fire podcast, and with the He's on Fire podcast, we'll admit we kind of boxed ourselves in a corner when it came to Arizona sports. But like this branch off show is giving us the opportunity to talk about sort of everything that's going on, anything that's popular. And right now it's the NBA finals between the Golden State Warriors and the Boston Celtics. Game 1 was just last night. What a crazy game. Did you have anything to say about what's going on right now?
So I didn't watch most of the game. I was on a flight. I saw somebody had the game on like a seat like in front of me. So I was watching a little bit while I was watching The Sopranos, and which is by the way the greatest show of all time. So I didn't fully catch the fourth quarter, But then when I saw the box score, so I landed, I'm like, let me just check it. What happened? And I was like, oh, Golden State won. Like, no, it was they got blown out. And then I looked at the box score further, and it was like, okay, 21 threes. They basically killed them in every statistic in the box score. And then I watched the Al Horford highlights, and I was just like, wow, like that dude balled out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what you get. Like, it's funny because when you watch Golden State, they run it, and you watch Draymond, and he's really good at orchestrating the offense and getting it to the guy in the dunker spot or the 3-point shooter. But take that out, and everything else is like Steph Curry and Clay and Jordan Poole taking wild ass threes, like wild threes. And like, if they don't go in, they have no shot. And even those like at least Clay and Steph are the greatest shooters of all time. Those are stupid shots, even for them, right?
Mm-hmm. No, like absolutely. Like I watched most of the game. I was playing Warzone, and I had the game up on my laptop. I was just looking back and forth and stuff. And Jason Tatum, he had a really bad shooting night. He went 3 of 17. But like I tweeted this morning, like what I love about players like Tatum and Booker is that like if you're complete ass and dog shit in one sort of area, you need to be banging on all cylinders, rebounding, defense, just perimeter switching, assists and stuff. And that's what Tatum did last night. He still made his presence known, even though when the shot wasn't falling down. And I'll admit, I'm not a Derek White guy. every game I watch,
I'm not either. No way.
Yeah, every game I watch up until this point, he's been absolute dog shit. And I was me and Specs Media, shout out to Specs, like him and I talked about on Twitter, but like, how is this guy on a NBA roster? But the dude went absolutely crazy last night. And I talked to a couple other Boston people, and they said, yeah, that's just what Derek White is. Yeah, he's had kind of like a bad month, I guess. I'm like, all right, obviously I haven't been paying attention, but shouts out to him. And it's great seeing Al Horford ball out the way that he did. He wanted that game. Like he wants to be there. He made his presence known right away, even though Kevon Looney was in the right place at the right time with so many boards. And yeah, shout out to Big Al. He had a really good game. And Marcus Smart, he wasn't making dumb decisions either. He was his IQ was very high last night. He wasn't overdoing his defense, causing fouls. He wasn't flopping as much. And yeah, of course he, still throws his body. I'm surprised he never hurts himself. But he stayed up. He knew the seriousness of this game, especially going against the Golden State Warriors and stuff. So Jaylen Brown even balled out too. Shout out to him. Went to Berkeley. I've been watching him for a very long time. I've been waiting for a really, really good Jaylen Brown playoff game, and I feel like I haven't seen that in the last 3 playoff runs that they've gone on. And last night was a great game for him, and he essentially carried Jason Tatum. But that's what's so good about that duo is that if both of them are clicking one night, you're not gonna win. They're just gonna shoot you out the gym. But Jaylen Brown, he had a great game, and he's him and Al Horford won that game, and Robert Williams too. I wish we had a center that played like Robert Williams, but I digress. But with Golden State,
don't hurt me like that, man. Don't hurt me like that.
But with Golden State, dude, Steph, I don't know what it is with Steph. Like me, I'm not a big Steph guy. I don't know about you. I feel like I'm missing a lot from Steph. Maybe my basketball IQ isn't the highest. I never watch Golden State games religiously like some people. Me, I love traditional point guards. I love the facilitating aspect. I love getting guys going and all that stuff. And Curry doesn't do that. He sets the ball up for himself by him, running around all these moving screens, try to get himself open and doing all the shit. It's really impressive. I mean, it's worked for 5-6 years, and that's why he has 3 chips. But I feel like I haven't seen a lot of his game, and like last night was kind of an example of that. When you close off his passing lanes, and then Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum are playing tight on Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson, and like Curry just looks stuck a lot. I mean, after the first quarter, I mean, he had a great first quarter, but after the first quarter, he just like I want to say he looked like a shell of himself, but it just didn't seem like he knew what to do. And like that's always been kind of like another issue with Steph Curry for me, because I'm a big LeBron fan, and that whole Cleveland run was so annoying to me because that Warriors team was so well built that Curry could really like fuck around and not be good and still get carried.
Yeah.
and like
No,
LeBron's never had a situation like that. That's why it was annoying to me.
That goes back to my point where I'm like, if you're just going to launch these really stupid 3-point shots, even though you're Steph Curry and you can do that, that doesn't mean like you're taking away other opportunities from your team to exploit the other team, right? So like that's why, and I'm going to say this. I guess I'm saying this for the first time. We need DA long term because no other team is built. Yeah, I see you. I saw your eyes on that. No other team is built that way because everyone's trying to get Al Horford, right? Everyone's trying to get like a guy like that or like a Clint Capella, but no one's trying to get a DA. And a DA, if you give him the ball and the offense is proper, he is going to exploit that team with like 3 moves and a pick and roll. That's all he needs. But like Steph, like the way he runs around, it's like either I'm a decoy or I'm shooting it, but I'm going to shoot it from wherever I want to shoot it from, and that's just you have to accept that. And it doesn't mean those percentages are the same because shooting it from 40 feet, shooting it off a pick and roll at 30 feet and fading away, like these are like not good shots. That's what I'm saying. They're not good shots. And what we saw is like there's a difference between a Draymond Green he's really good defensively, Hall of Fame defensively, but he's not Al Horford where he can step out, hit a shot, set a pick and roll and finish at the rim. Like he just doesn't have that ability. He only knows how to run the offense. That's it. So, I'm worried about the NBA in the long term because a lot of teams are going to play the same way where it's just, and I talked about it. I tweeted about it. I know we texted about it. If you go back and look, like all these teams' points are coming either from the 3-point line or from in the paint and then free throw line. There's no mid-range. The only teams that have mid-range points beyond single digits in the playoffs are the Suns. And I want to say, I have to go back and look at the other team, but the Suns were
maybe the Bucks.
The Bucks for sure. The Bucks were the only other team. And it's just, I think we're losing a part of basketball, but I'm not saying that because the Suns, choked and the rest of the teams choked. Like, Milwaukee had an injury. They probably would have beat the Celtics. This year's kind of wide open with the Suns and Milwaukee falling out. I just think that, if we can't lose the center in the NBA. And if teams focus on that, some other team is going to focus on it when the next big center comes out and is going to flip back the other way.
No, I 100% agree. And I look at the landscape of the NBA currently, and like we've touched on it a few times on the podcast with when it comes to paying centers, you don't necessarily do that unless if you have a Joel Embiid or a Nikola Jokic and stuff. And like we're put in a hard position because, like we go through these different eras in the NBA, when it's guard heavy or it's power forward heavy. And now we're getting kind of out of the guard.
It's wing. And now it's all about wings.
Yeah. It's straight wings now. So when last pod, when Evan was here with our regular pod, he mentioned we just need to invest in two-way players, and I'm all on board for that going forward. And like, I just wish DA was a little more mature and he progressed a little more. But at the same time, I'm not gonna necessarily blame him for that. I feel like he didn't get his time to flourish and take his time developing his game because he got that suspension. Then during the bubble season was cut short. Then the season before his rookie year, whatever. And then Chris came last year, and it was basically boot camp. What's the Navy SEAL boot camp? What's that called? Like Camp Hell or whatever. That's what I'm guessing. That's what it was for DA. Like Chris Paul yelling at him during practice and stuff. And then come to this year, DA had one of his better years that I've seen him in a Phoenix uniform. But at the same time, he was still inconsistent in games where he should be dominating and stuff. And when it came to the playoffs, I think he had an amazing first round. I mean, I think besides Chris Paul, DA carried like so much of that load. And I thought he was going to get a lot of respect going into the second round. And for whatever reason, Monty didn't utilize him. He didn't use him in the game plan. And if I was DA, I would be frustrated too. And I've been on the pod on record saying I've had this love-hate relationship with DA. I've always been really critical of him and stuff. And like at this point, I have his back. If he feels like he deserves a max, go for it. But I don't think it's for this team, honestly. I do think he is a max player. He definitely has max potential. I just don't think we can lock him up, with that deal. Me personally, I don't think we're going to see him in a Phoenix Suns uniform when it comes to when the beginning of the season starts. But, I love DA. I wanted to stay and stuff, but at the same time, we're in a unique position where from Flex from Jersey, he tweeted out there's 2 superstars, quote unquote superstars, that want to come to Phoenix that have said they want to come here. All of us speculated KD, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine is going to be in the market too, but I feel like he's going to be looking for a lot of money. But there's going to be a good amount of guys that I feel like want to get moved around. Amit, since the last time you're on, have you has anything just been in your head about the future for us? Or
again, like I said, I mean, I don't know what happened between DA and Monty. I'm more concerned about Chris Paul because that guy just disappeared. I mean, if we're talking adding Anthony Towns and then maybe someone else, I don't know who else you can add, but at that point, but at this point, DA has been disserviced on this team from the coaching staff. Yeah. Because they basically made him. And so here, okay, man, I wanted to save this for the big pod. I'm going to do it now. Okay. There is no such thing as a 3-headed team. Okay. There's no 3-star team. There's no big 3. There's always 2 players and then 1 guy sacrifices. So if you think back and you go back and look at it.
Kevin Love on the Cavs. If you go back, it was Chris Bosh on the Miami Heat. If you go back and look at that. Rondo on the Celtics.
Team, which one?
Rondo on the Celtics.
Oh, you thought he was part of the big 3? I thought he was I was going to say
Allen.
Yeah, I was going to say Ray Allen.
Yeah, I would say Allen. I guess it's a toss-up. I mean, they didn't like each other, but
Yeah, but neither. I mean, Rondo had the ball, right? So it was one of those guys that had to sacrifice. If you keep going back even further, with the Lakers, it was always Magic and Kareem, or it was Kobe, Shaq, and then someone else. And they had to just plug in. So my whole thing is that someone has to sacrifice if this team is moving forward. If we sign Ayton, I think the sacrifice has to be Chris Paul. And you have to understand, dude, you are not the guy anymore. And you got to give it up to Booker. And we know what Booker can do. And we're seeing what Tatum can do right now. And we have to Booker's watching this and going like, this is the next level for what I need to do. And even if I shoot 3 of 17, I can make plays. I can be a defensive presence. He's not the same size as Tatum, but he's, I think, athletically the same, I would want to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my point. I just think Booker is the guy, and Aiden is the guy, and CP3 is the guy that needs to step back. He's like turning fucking 40, dude. Come on.
Yeah, like last year, was the exception and stuff. We get Chris, and he takes us all the way to the end essentially. And Da, he finally sprouted out the ground of like that overall number 1 pick potential, and we're just like, holy shit, right? So we went this whole next season basically with the same mindset and stuff. Da taking the backseat, Chris Paul and Booker leading the way, and it was beautiful. Like I loved watching it, and but at the same time, all of us were worried about Chris Paul's playoff thing, his stretch of bad luck when it came to the playoffs, when it came to injury or Scott Foster, whatever. But it seemed like after the first round, like right when it concluded, we're like, okay, Chris is here, we're good. But it just sucks because like we saw like Chris Paul just as soon as he turned 37, just completely shut off. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if I know Jason Kidd switched up the defenses and stuff and really limited what was going on just on our side of the ball. But like he was straight up a liability, and I've just never seen that from Chris before. And it was sad to watch.
No, I mean, I saw it. I saw. Do you remember the Lakers series? The same thing, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess like, and it took him like half of the next series to like fully come back because with the Nuggets and stuff, because he missed 2 games, right? Due to COVID.
He like literally ruined the Nuggets.
Oh yeah. The Nuggets are a bitch going forward. But yeah, like it's just like we could have easily won that Dallas series, and I will not give Dallas credit. We literally just turned off the motor, we shot ourselves in the foot, and we took the ball and we went home. Like I know Jason Kidd changed some things around and stuff, and they executed and stuff. Like they did what they were supposed to do. Like I would not get. Yeah, I'm not going to give them credit past that. Yeah.
We got outplayed. We didn't show up in the clutch. Booker couldn't figure out a double team. Chris Paul seemed disinterested. DeAndre Ayton seemed mad. Mm-hmm. The rest of our star players, or I should say our role players, didn't become star players, which we thought they would. Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges. Torrey Craig was a complete no-show, and now we're stuck with his contract for another year. I mean, it's tough, man. Let's move on to entertainment.
Just to put a pin in it. We're gonna talk about all the sports stuff essentially, on our other main podcasts and stuff. But before we get into the entertainment stuff, we are running a little bit long, but I thought this would be fun for us to do for a couple minutes. Did you listen to the last Suns Jam Session episode with Evan on it?
I dude, see this over here?
Yeah.
I am anti-Suns. I'm anti-Suns. The effort. No, I'm just gonna. So let me get this off, dude. The effort that I saw in that game did not equate to what I've seen the entire season or the entire time that Monty Williams has coached his team. So I am, until they show me something that they're not in the upside down, they are in the upside down. Yeah. And they're going to stay there. And James Jones maybe makes a trade, maybe because even after the game, Chris Paul was just like, it's another game or whatever. He's like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm like, bro, like this is the worst thing in my world right now.
Yeah. Arizona fans.
Like you got to tell me something else. Like I remember Frank Kaminsky. Like where's that guy? He fucking chucking beer cans into the solar system. Like that is to me when we win and when we're together, like we get that sort of collective fun. What I saw in this playoffs, even in New Orleans, I was just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are we stalling against this team that we should stomp? I know they're defensively, they're better. We have their assistant coach, or they have our assistant coach. Like, it just seemed like a whole thing was like just we weren't ready for the playoffs. We weren't ready to win. What happened to the team that was like stomping, that didn't lose in the fourth quarter? We have still not lost a game in the fourth quarter in clutch time.
Yeah.
But we're not in the playoffs.
52-0.
We're 57. We're not in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's a damn shame. Oh yeah. Like it's a damn shame, like it's just to put a pin in it. It's like, all of our expectations were high and rightfully so. 64 wins, franchise record, probably the best Suns team that we've ever seen.
Nope, they didn't make the finals. They didn't make the finals, so I'm still gonna take last year's team or the 92 team or the 76 team.
Yeah,
I'm taking all those teams.
Yeah. So, like, it was absolutely horrific, like what Westville said right here. Absolutely horrific. But like, we need a third scorer, and if we have to send out DA for that, like, I'm willing to do that. But to move on from the Suns, the Cardinals ain't really doing anything. Kyler and OTAs, whatever, like he should be. We're not going to touch on the Cardinals like that. We still have a long way to go before even the preseason hits. But I thought this would be fun. So on the last Suns Jam session, right in the beginning, they were talking about, jerseys and stuff, like what are some of the best jerseys ever. And, obviously, the Jordan red Chicago, like, classic. It's a beautiful sight. One of the most classic jerseys ever. Evan, he's a big Supersonics guy. He mentioned a Sean Kemp red trim Sonics jersey. I love that jersey as well. And I thought, I'm like, well, we're going to be starting the show, and I'm going to share my screen real quick. So we're starting the show, and let's get that going. And I thought it would be fun. I put together, does everybody see this? Yeah. I put together a tier of some of the best jerseys in NBA history. I thought we can go through this real quick because I thought it was a good subject line. And if you don't see your favorite jersey here, if it's part of this franchise, it falls in this line too. I only had a limited amount of spaces here. But, I thought this would be cool. Right here, the old school Orlando Magic, Shaquille. Like, where would you put this on it?
Okay, so if I'm ranking these jerseys, I'm obviously going Suns number 1.
Yeah.
Sixers number 2. Probably Magic number 3, and then I'm going. Oh, where'd it go? Yeah, I'm going Raptors 4.
Okay, Raptors 4. Yeah, like, I sort of agree with that. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Where would you put this Magic unit at? Would you put it in S tier, as superior, good, decent, or overrated?
I put it good. I'll put it good.
Good. Yeah, I agree with that. It's a solid jersey. I love the pinstripe, and it's classic. I love seeing it. But one of my favorite jerseys of all time, the Piston turquoise.
Like those ones, huh?
Yeah. I absolutely love these. What do you think?
I think the jersey is tied to, like, Grant Hill. I don't think it's tied to, like, the team. You know what I mean? So it's like it's like an era in the team, and same with the Sunburst Suns jersey is tied to Barkley and Kidd and Nash and Kevin Johnson. So it's like, but the thing is, it has a good stretch of, like, players. Whereas, like, this Pistons jersey has one player. Like, tell me another player other than Grant Hill wearing that jersey.
That is a very good question.
Yeah. You can't tell me when I know you're thinking. You're thinking hard.
Yeah, nothing comes to mind. Yeah, it's just straight up Grant Hill. Like, I'm such a Grant Hill guy. And I've always loved these unis. I really miss his logo. I really wish that they brought that back. It's different times now. So I'm guessing you're leaning towards, like, the decent. Is that correct?
It's decent. Yeah.
Decent. Okay. I love all these jerseys, so I'm putting it as how you put it. So I don't necessarily have a problem with that. Not everyone's forte. So I put very specifically the 2000s Kobe Lakers unis. I've always liked them. I always liked the baggy look, especially on him. It just always looked good. It was just that early 2000 era. Where would you rank these?
Okay. So this is painful for me because
it's very
that's
painful.
The jersey
I didn't want to add this. Yeah.
Where he hits the shot, in game 6 or game 5 against the Suns. But because this is a Sunday Laker uniform, so they only wear white on Sunday. So I actually, it's kind of like the Yankees or something where I'm like, I can hate the team, I hate everything about the organization, but I appreciate that they have a tradition for Sunday nights. So I will put that in. I'll put that in Supreme.
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I felt like I was doing the Phoenix Suns a disservice a little bit, but like, dude, just not just the white jersey, but like the purple and the yellow, like they just always look clean. Like especially on Kobe and the Derek Fisher team and on Andrew Bynum and all. Like I always really enjoyed looking at those jerseys, but. One of my favorite jerseys of all time, and one of my favorite logos of all time, the purple Raptor jerseys, Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Muggsy Bogues, Raptor squad with these jerseys. Like, what are you feeling on these?
Dude, so this jersey, I was in college in my dorm room eating cereal every morning. Me and my roommate, we'd wake up and like go to ESPN to watch Vince Carter highlights. And he was wearing this jersey.
Absolutely.
And he was like his highlight, like he had so many highlights, right? I guess I have nostalgia for this, so I'll put it Supreme because I like the idea of the color scheme, the fact that there's like a big ass dinosaur on there, and the fact that Vince Carter's wearing it. But that's the only reason.
Yeah, like I just always loved that jersey. Like my dad was a big Vince Carter guy, and I was too growing up. I just loved watching him play. And yeah, those Raptor jerseys were absolutely beautiful. And I've always liked these. I'm not a big Jazz guy. I've never been, but Karl Malone is one of my favorite players of all time. I just these old 90s jerseys were always so clean. Like what would you say about these purple Jazz jerseys?
No, it's too much, bro. It's overrated.
It's too much? Overrated?
Yeah. It's overrated.
Okay. Like I agree. Like this is usually thrown into one of the best jerseys ever, and I've always liked them, but I've never been like entirely a love them. Okay, these are controversial. I miss this logo. I love this logo. The Josh Smith time. Al Horford was on this team too. Kyle Krover too, and then this goes all the way back to Dominique. And stuff like that, that's like his last few years. This logo was introduced and stuff. What do you feel about just this overall logo jersey concept here?
I mean, I think it's too much of the bird. Like you need to have it in a profile setting or like a 2-dimensional setting. Like this is just not the way it works with these types of. Because it doesn't go to the back, right? Like, does it go all the way through the back? Do you know?
I think the wings end right on the side.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I just don't like that. Like, I think it needs, if you're going to do something that goes around the jersey, it needs to be either in a dynamic way, like a diagonal or some other way. But like, yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, I feel you.
Honestly, this feels like Stranger Things, like jerseys.
Oh, the hawk and tie.
Yeah.
No, I 100% agree, but I absolutely love these jerseys. I just think they're so clean. I think it would make a really good AAU, jersey. But where would you rank it? I'm guessing either decent,
I'll put decent.
or overrated.
I'll put
decent. Okay, gotcha.
Because
just crop
it's still a cool concept, right? Like to put a bird across the whole thing. That's cool.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think we need to talk about this much. This is by far one of the best jerseys of all time. Like,
And
am I wrong?
I'll tell everyone that I still think the purple one's better, but that's just me.
It's the perfect shade of purple, and like even the white, the white ones. For our listeners and stuff, we are looking at the black sunburst Steve Nash jersey. Just the overall black, or just the sunburst jerseys in general. Back in the early to mid 90s, early 2000s, and stuff. The purple ones were absolutely beautiful. The black ones were just as good. I'm more of a black jersey guy, but the
I'm a
white
purple
one
guy,
just
but
literally, yeah, like the white ones were just went with absolutely
Okay.
everything you.
Yeah.
Like, where would
But
you
either
put
way,
these?
like no one. I mean, it's just so unique.
It's so unique. It's like we have like the perfect not only name but jerseys that went with this team. Like just location wise, our logo. Like we've always kind of hit the nail on the head when it came to just overall concepts around this team. Like I feel like this is a superior. Like would you put it there?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. One of the best jerseys of all time. Okay. The very classic 90s Chicago Bulls jersey, more specifically the Jordan jersey. John Voida on the Suns Jam session, he absolutely loves this jersey. And not going to lie, I'm not a big Jordan guy, but this, like, when you see this jersey, you feel comfortable, you know who it is. And it's just an all-time classic. I can only imagine the jersey sales with just this specific jersey alone. I have a pinstripe one. I absolutely love it. Where would you rank this jersey? Do you even have a Jordan jersey?
No, but I would wear that jersey and I would buy one if I could find one.
Yeah.
If I really was looking for jerseys, I'd buy that jersey. The thing is, the fact that is the same jersey of this team, like 30 years later, I'm like, bro, like, are you serious? Like they do a St. Patrick's Day jersey and they do a black jersey, but that's it.
Yeah.
It's the same jersey. It's overrated to me because I've seen it too much. I've seen it on shitty ass players that are not Michael Jordan.
You know what? I really respect that, honestly, because like the Bulls, the Knicks, and the Celtics have like they've been kind of stuck with their overall concept because they're stuck in the times in a sense, and it's due to their excellence and stuff. Not necessarily the Knicks, but it's the overall image and stuff. And like I really can't picture a different jersey concept because we've seen that one for so long. So
you haven't seen anything else. Like it's like there's so many things you can do with a bull or a Toro or something. Like you could come up with a better concept, and you can use those same colors to do that thing. I mean, the Suns have done that with the same colors. I mean, with the colors we have.
Like they've had to have gone thousands of different jersey concepts and stuff. And like even their city edition wasn't like crazy. It was a different font. It says Chicago. It was black. And it was just like there was no effort there. And
dude,
it's just,
and on top of that, like Chicago has a flag, right? So Chicago has a flag where it's a white flag with I want to say it's like a light blue star.
Oh, the blue star. Yeah.
Like they don't even have that concept in their jersey concept. So I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
They did have that one that they had for like 6 months, and like I feel like they could have did it better. But I digress. Like it's so classic that it's really overrated though. There has been a lot of shit players to wear that. Yeah,
because Jordan wore it, and then Derrick Rose wore it, and then now we're seeing
Pippen, Rodman, Hardaway, Kukoc. Like those guys are on a tier of their own when it comes to wearing this jersey. I mean, Levine is not even in the conversation wearing this jersey, even though he's been with the Bulls for a while. He's just nowhere near where Derrick Rose was. Kirk Heinrich deserves this. Like he's
Yes.
up there too.
More than
Brian
yes, for
Scalabrine too. Like even though Brian Scalabrine wasn't like the best player ever, he was a classic on this team. Even Joakim Noah, like those are the guys you remember. Like Zach Levine, I don't
Jimmy
think
Butler.
he's going to be
Jimmy
remembered.
Butler too.
Jimmy Butler, yeah. The few years he was here, I think he was here for like 5 years, but yeah, like you're 100% right on that. Like people are going to think that's controversial, but I think you hit money with that. This is Evan's all-time favorite jersey here. The red trim Sonic,
like
the Supersonics. I like it personally, but I'm more of the green and yellow.
No, I hate this one. I hate this one compared to the other one.
Really?
The yellow and the green and the white. I never liked this jersey. I never liked it.
Like what is it? You think it's the unnecessary red? Like is it?
I just think that like they didn't put any creativity into the concept of what they were doing, because at least the other one, like when it went around and went down and around on the backside, like that was cool. This was just like this fucking what's it called? What's a movie from Michael Jordan?
Space Jam.
It's a Space Jam jersey.
No way, right? It does look like Space Jam jersey, and maybe that's why Evan likes it so much.
Yeah,
but like the Supersonics are probably coming back. I can't wait for that, and I know they're gonna have sort of the same concept and stuff. I like the tone of red that they use, the little yellow like accents as well. This isn't my favorite Sonics jersey. I'm a fan of the the silk light. Like it's basically like Philly green, and then with that yellow, that you just absolutely can't beat that. So where would you put this?
I say it's overrated.
Overrated, yeah.
Or lower.
It's overrated just because Evan likes it. That's why. So
there we go.
Okay, these bring back a lot of memories. The Carmelo Anthony, Allen Iverson, Denver Nuggets with Birdman, Nene, like J.R. Smith. I absolutely
the most
love
tatted
these baby
team
blue.
in the history of the NBA.
The most dude, it was Pelican Bay prison ball down in Denver. Like where, like, do you love these jerseys? Do you hate them? Like, does this bring back good memories? Like tell me what you think about these.
I mean, so I'm a fan of the color because it reminds me of North Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah.
So to see that in NBA and to see it with this other flair of like all these tatted up dudes that just play street ball, in a way. Not to say that that's what they play, but I'm just saying like that was pretty much what you're picking up when you're watching it. I love these jerseys. I love them. I think they're
it just brings back so many memories because me growing up as a LeBron fan, like I was just so tunnel vision with LeBron, but dude, like when I caught a Nuggets game with J.R. Smith, Allen Iverson, and Melo and Birdman, like these jerseys just kept my eyes on the screen, and just watching young Melo just work was like amazing to watch.
Yeah,
and it just like the Nuggets have always had pretty good jerseys, like the rainbow colored ones. I always liked. You can kind of wear them with anything and stuff. Like I can see why a lot of people don't necessarily like them, but like these, I feel like these are very underrated. I should have made an underrated section.
Yeah.
But these are absolutely beautiful. I'm glad you like these. Where would you put this?
I put them in superior, dude. Because like I would get an Allen Iverson. Like if Allen Iverson would autograph a jersey for me, I would want it to be that North Carolina blue color.
I don't blame you. That was such a good time period. Even though Allen Iverson was a little past, like what he was. I mean, that team was still ridiculous. Like it was the coaching that messed up that team. And, I get Melo's not the easiest guy to get along with, but the dude wants to win. So he still doesn't have a ring like 20 years later, but whatever. Speaking of Allen Iverson, the fucking classic, the silk black Sixers, Allen Iverson. Just Allen Iverson alone changed the league of what it is today with just the streetwear. It's why he's one of my favorite players of all time. Where would you rank this jersey?
I feel like we have too many in the superior category, and
Uh-huh.
because of because this
You can always move them. If you need to rearrange, you can move them.
Okay. So I think what I would do is then move the Toronto jersey to good and move
Okay.
this jersey to superior, because I really think like this captures like Sixers at their best. And sorry for Sixers fans, but like this was their best team.
Absolutely. No question.
And just like the fact that it's not red, white, and blue with like every other jersey that they have, it makes it really cool. You know, it like focuses on the Liberty Bell, the black and gold concept. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Just the fact that the Sixers today don't have this concept like on any given night is atrocious.
Yeah.
Like this,
Yeah.
like this jersey was one of the cleanest ever. Like I remember seeing these and
like how is that not a throwback? Like it needs to be a throwback.
It needs to be like a Mitchell and Ness throwback. Like I don't know why it isn't, but
like dude, can you imagine you getting like a Joel Embiid in that jersey?
That's what I'm saying. Like that's a clean ass jersey, man. And I would have gotten a Jimmy Butler one if he would have stayed on the team. A Jimmy Butler black Sixers jersey? Are you kidding me?
Yo, dude, that totally fits his style.
That's what I'm saying. He's basically Allen Iverson when it comes to attitude, not necessarily play, but like, dude, like, yeah, I need this jersey. I've never gone around to it, but absolutely ridiculous.
Would you get a Ben Simmons jersey though? In that,
I'll get a Ben Simmons warm up, street clothes,
or James Harden. Would you get James Harden Sixers black jersey?
If he averages 25 points, I'll get one.
What if he autographed it for you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. Like I'll probably frame it. I wouldn't wear it, but
it'd be funny. It'd be ironic, I guess.
Have you been to like a sports bar where like you walk in and like there's like a big game going on and you see that one fucking guy that has a jersey on and it's like signed? Have you seen that?
Bro, yeah. I've seen it even worse. So we went this is like a decade ago, more than a decade ago. One of my homies, so Barcelona came to LA to play in a exhibition match against LA Galaxy, and he got his soccer ball signed by Carlos Puyol, who was like one of the greatest defenders in Barcelona history and Spanish player, like great Hall of Famer. And then we were literally playing with that ball. I was like, bro, like you got it signed. Why are we playing with that ball? Like, what do you do? And then it got kicked over a wall and the whole thing. So yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, dude, I have a Charles Barkley ball and no one's touched it besides me and my dad. Like, I am so protective of this fucking ball up here. I have assigned a Charles Barkley ball. Nobody knew that, but yeah, it's hanging. It's on its own fucking thing. There's a Charles Barkley picture right next to it. Yeah, it's like when people get signatures, they want to flaunt them. I understand that, but wearing it to a sports bar is not the move. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Or playing with a ball that was signed.
Or playing with it is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We have a couple jerseys left. We'll kind of crank through them because I definitely want to get to some movies and just what's going on. So one of my favorite eras in the NBA was the shiny silk jerseys, but more specifically, the championship 2005 run, Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal. I love these uniforms. They always popped off the screen, even with the grainy ass box televisions and stuff back in the day. Like I'm in love with these. Like, what about you?
I think they're way better than the LeBron James era jerseys, where it was like a flat red. So
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But so this is the only team where like they wore like a silky jersey where it actually worked. Because if you remember, like the Suns had that silky jersey before with Jason Kidd, and it would just look
like it was I wasn't crazy about it.
No, it was bad, dude. It wasn't good. I think even the Bulls tried to pull that off too. There's a few teams that try to pull that silky jersey.
The Wizards,
but they're the only
that gold one.
Which one?
That the Wizards, the Gilbert Arenas one.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
the gold and
When
the
they
white.
had
That one was bad.
shorts, the practice
Yeah.
shorts on the bottom, stupid looking. That was a dumb jersey.
The Kings ones
That was
were pretty decent. The Kings ones, well, the
Yeah,
purple
but
ones, not the gold ones, but
but it was a
ones.
better purple than ours to pull off the that silky thing. Like our
Yeah.
purple is a little bit like lighter, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work because they had black and silver, so it worked better for them. We had like orange, and we didn't make the orange pop the same way as the purple. So but these jerseys are fire. Like these jerseys are fire.
Yeah.
But I would only say they're good because the color concept and the design of them are like they never changed.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, but at the same time, they have such a clean logo. And then, like, I like the Vice City jerseys that came out a few years ago. Like one of the first ones, but they've been writing with it a little too much recently. But I'm glad that they did the Vice City and stuff. But these 2005 championship run red Miami jerseys were beautiful. On to one of my favorite jerseys
so
of
let
all
me
time.
let me just close out the Vice City one because it's funny. Like they kept doing it, and they kept like trying to like get more like aggressive with it, and like they got to a point where it's like, dude, whose baby reveal is like? Can you tell us like the baby reveal at this point? Because no one can tell. It's just so much just pink and blue, but there's no in between. It just became like that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I definitely do not like the mix that they did with the most recent one, but the first ones that came out, the black with the blue and pink lettering, that is absolutely beautiful. Like I didn't have space to throw that on here, but I don't think that jersey competes with any of these, honestly. I mean, maybe the Jazz one and the Sonics one, but any other jersey, I don't believe so. But on to the final jersey that we have here. One of my favorite jerseys of all time, more specifically the Mike Bibby one, because Mike Bibby coached at the high school I graduated at. I don't know him personally, but I've talked to him and stuff. But the Vancouver Grizzlies, this is the white one, but the blue turquoise one or the black one, pick your poison. These were absolutely beautiful to me, especially around the collar with the little hints and stuff. And like the second Canadian team at the time eventually moved to Memphis, of course. And I'm so happy that Memphis brought back this jersey concept. And I think it's really clean now. I love what they did with the black one, with the Memphis blue lettering and stuff. And I want to get that in a Ja Morant jersey. But what do you like? How are you feeling on this jersey?
With Ja Morant wearing it and Mike Bibby wearing it, this is like an all-timer. I mean, it feels like Stranger Things, honestly. Like it doesn't look like the Hawkins jersey that they're wearing in the first episode.
It does. Yeah.
It doesn't have the trim, but like the trim is what is the detail that makes it like fire.
It makes it pop because if it didn't have this collar here, I wouldn't like it as much. Yeah.
Because if I believe right, like the Hawkins one is like that same blue or green on the trim. It doesn't have any detail, right? But that makes it dope as fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I've always wanted this jersey. I've never gone around to it. I'll definitely have this in my collection sooner than later because now I have my little man cave room and I can actually put this up. Like this is a jersey that you don't necessarily want to be wearing around. This is something that like you need to put up. Maybe not a Mike Bibby one, but Mike Bibby's one of the most memorable players.
Yeah, it's got to be a Bibby or a Ja Morant like thing. Like or like if you have like some other affinity to the team, like if anything, like the only other guy that I'm interested in is like Zebo, maybe.
Yeah,
Zebo jersey. Yeah. But like or Tony Allen maybe even, but he's not as memorable as Zebo. But like like it's got to be Ja Morant or Mike Bibby. And Mike Bibby, like I was in high school at the time Mike Bibby was at Shadow Mountain. So he was the greatest Arizona basketball sports player. I think like Richard Jefferson was like number 2 after him. But
where would you rank this jersey?
I mean, if I'm putting up against, we're both saying it's superior, right?
I think this is a superior jersey personally, but I'm fine with it going good And I feel like for the natural consensus palette, I don't mind it going to decent because the colors are a little weird, but at the same time, it's not overbearing with, the blue and stuff. I feel like you can wear this
Yeah.
with a lot.
I mean, I would put this over that Lakers Sunday jersey just for the fact that this is a unique jersey and the Lakers jersey is just like, it's just they flip the colors. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not unique.
So are you telling me you want to move this Lakers one down to good, or
To
are you
good.
cool with this
Yeah,
going?
I'll move it to good.
Got you. Okay, I agree with that. I think what made that Lakers jersey was Kobe. Really, even though I wasn't a Kobe guy growing up, it's just this looks so good on him, especially in 2010, 2008, just those runs and stuff. But I am actually happy with this list. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I feel like Evan will put this Magic one in superior. I feel like he'll probably put this Nuggets one down to good or at least decent. I think he'll move this Detroit one up to good or superior. He'll definitely put the Supersonics one in the superior. Evan's list is wrong, but I think you and I agree on this. Absolutely. This is your list right here. I put this together for you, but I agree with this 100%.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I keep looking at that Bulls jersey, and I'm like, maybe that's decent over the Hawks jersey, but the fact that they've never changed it hurts. It personally hurts.
It. Yeah.
When
you have a jersey concept. When you have a jersey concept for this long, it's you not only remember all the great players that played in it, but you remember all the bad ones. That was such a good point. That was such a good point, and I'm gonna ride with that until I die. This goes with the Celtics. This goes to the Knicks and stuff. I was gonna throw the Knicks, Patrick Ewing, John Stark jerseys up here, but it's nothing new.
No,
it's not.
Yeah. It's nostalgia, but the same thing. That Laker jersey you're watching, we're looking at there. Robert Sacre wore that jersey. There's some trash. Ronnie Turioff wore that jersey. There's
Nash wore this jersey.
Yeah, exactly. Smush Parker.
Jeremy Lin wore this jersey.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I love this list, Amit. I think you did a good job putting this together. But I know we're missing a lot of jerseys and stuff. If you guys have any jerseys, just throw them in the chat. We'll talk about them on another day. But we're running a little long here. Let me go back here. We're gonna hop into what's up, JV? What's going on? We're gonna hop into some entertainment stuff and what's going on
real
with
quick.
TV shows, movies.
Let me get your all-time NFL jersey. What's your all-time NFL jersey?
All-time NFL jersey, dude. Okay, the Philly green ones, those bright green ones. I've always loved those ones.
The old school
creamsicle,
ones, the old school Philly ones.
Yeah, the old school ones. Yeah. Okay. The creamsicle Tampa Bay ones. Okay. I just love that orange. It's such a good color. The old Baltimore Ravens jerseys, the ones where they actually have their flag on it, the Ray Lewis ones.
Oh wow, I like those ones. Okay.
Yeah, they have such a unique flag. It really just brought out that jersey. But besides those three, this might come as a shock, but I forget the guy that died there. But let's just roll with Antonio Gates, Chargers navy blue jersey.
Okay.
I have always loved
the
those
white
jerseys.
helmet. The white helmet, right?
With the white helmet, yeah.
Yeah.
Those navy blue ones with the silk look, I like the shiny look, the baggy sleeves. Yeah. It was just a clean look. It was Juicy J wore it in a music video. It was clean. But what about you? I'm actually curious to what.
So it's funny. I think the way that jerseys have evolved and they've gotten tighter and they've flattened the colors out.
Yeah.
I think so. I have four in mind. Okay. and they're all really flat colors, but the design is traditional and they haven't changed that much. I like the Packers. I think the Packers might be number 1 for me. I love the green. And I love the flat color design. I love how it's really tight. I love the Raiders, same way, with the silver and black. It doesn't change.
Rejected.
I like shit. Why'd you do that, man? You confuse me. I'm 40 years old, man. I'm old. 49ers too. I really like the gold.
The gold ones,
the red, the white, the flat. Like when they used to do like the 3D color like numbers and stuff, I didn't like it. But like when they made it flat again, I loved it. And then what was my 4th team? Steelers.
Can't go wrong with that black and yellow. Like I hated it during the Super Bowl, of course, but it's still clean, and they are one of the cleanest logos in the league.
And then my honorable mention is the Cowboys traditional jersey, not the white and the.
Yeah, I love the traditional ones because the blues actually matched and stuff, and it was a lot. It was a lot cleaner. The Sanders ones were amazing.
Yeah.
The old Niners ones with the 3D numbers and stuff. Yeah, that was clean. And with the old minor font, whatever it was, those were definitely clean.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Notice I didn't mention the Bears. The Bears have the worst jerseys in the NFL.
Yeah, I've never liked the Bears jersey concepts. I like the
Browns.
colors.
No, sorry. Browns have the worst jerseys in the NFL. They look like turds.
They do. I'm not gonna lie, but
and then
there's a lot of bad jerseys in the NFL. Yeah, like I miss the early 2000s Cardinals jerseys. Like we have such a unique flag. I feel like we need to utilize it.
Yeah,
and might as well do that on an NFL jersey. But like again, I digress. But that concludes our sports talk. A little fun jersey, little tier list and stuff. But we're gonna move on to the entertainment side of things. And Amit, I got a question for you. What's in your rotation right now? Like, what are you watching? What are you planning on watching? What are you excited for? Just let me know what's going on.
Dude, all my free time is spent on watching stuff at this point with 2 kids. So I am watching The Boys on Amazon Prime. I just finished Hacks on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching Stranger Things.
Okay.
Season 4. And then I know we're going to talk about Star Wars, Kenobi. And then what was the other thing we're going to talk
about? Better Call Saul, I think.
Better Call Saul. I'm all up to date on those as well.
Yeah. Those are all solid shows. I used to watch The Voice back in the day when it was the first panel of judges. It was really nice.
No, The Boys. Not The Voice.
The Boys. Oh, the comic book show.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't seen that yet. Have you seen what is it? Invincible? Which with
the cartoon Simmons? One on Amazon?
Yeah. Have you seen that?
So my wife was like, "You'd be interested in this." I watched the first episode and I was like, "I don't think I want to watch this."
It is really good. It took me like 3 to 4 episodes to fully like get into it, like submerge. But it's a wild show, and plus I love J.K. Simmons. Just his voice is iconic. And have you seen Whiplash? Off topic.
Yeah,
have you seen Whiplash?
I've seen Whiplash.
Oh, one of my favorite movies of all time. But what's in my rotation right now? Currently, I'm watching Better Call Saul. It like a few years ago when the show first came out, it was hard for me to get into it because I had the bar of Breaking Bad. I mean, it's a Breaking Bad spinoff show. So like it just wasn't grabbing me right away. But recently I got back into it and I absolutely love the show. I'm currently in season 4. I haven't even touched season 5 yet. I'm creeping towards to, the newest season stuff, but I absolutely love the show. What about you?
No, I mean, there was a point where I thought it was better than Breaking Bad.
Really?
It was like a show.
At what point was that?
Probably like 2 seasons ago, to be honest with you. Like, I just thought like it had gotten better by season 4, better than anything that Better Call Saul had done. And I thought, okay, it's like the fact that these guys have worked together and they developed this character. they know their universe so well that they can tell a story within a story that is better than like this original story, right? The same way like Star Wars is doing it right now, where it's like we have this story and now we're telling a story within a story, and the
Yeah.
story within the story is better than the original story. Um, but like the but like I went back and watched some clips from Better Call Saul and some like breakdowns on like episodes or like seasons. And I'm like, yeah, Better Call Saul, they really they changed how you tell stories with that show. I mean,
Yeah.
like that was like every episode was a movie. You can say that about a lot of shows, but in that particular show, like there was callbacks to like things that happened like
Yeah.
3
Yeah.
seasons ago. Like
Yeah.
it's a whole nother thing. Like Better Call Saul and the characters. Yes, like now we have this. What they've done is they've made Jimmy McGill like it's hard to watch Better Call Saul and be like that's the same guy, because like I only saw him as like sleazebag. I see him as this like married, devoted, somewhat honest dude that cuts corners every once in a while, to like the racist guy that's like sexually harassing like the fat chick in his office. It's just like it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. Like I'm surprised that you said that, because I feel exactly the same way. It's the character development. It's when I watch Breaking Bad, when I watched it with my mom back in the day, I used to come back from summer school. She used to like call me after summer school, like, get your ass home. We need to start another episode. Like I felt like we were missing not a lot from Breaking Bad, because there were so many good characters like in that show. And then Better Call Saul just literally brought them all back. And I'm so happy that they brought back guys like Tuco and Nacho and the guy that got choked out by the bike lock, Crazy 8. Like he's such a nonchalant character in Breaking Bad, and he is in Better Call Saul too. He's just there for a little bit, and me and my girl were watching it, and I'm like, "Is that Crazy 8?" And she's all like, "Nah, it can't be." And then she like looked it up, like, "Holy fucking shit!" Like just the writing of the show and just how everybody ties in together eventually, and you see how the Salamancas kind of like rose to power and stuff. Like, how Bolsa has all this control and stuff, and how their whole operation works and stuff. And you see how Mike got. I love Mike. I forget his name, his actual name. He's a great actor, but I always wondered how he got affiliated with Gus, and you see that development going through, and how him and Gus got affiliated with each other. And it's because of the Salamancas and stuff. And just the fact that they brought back everybody, and it's just like in Breaking Bad, it left a lot of questions I didn't know were questions when the show ended. But when Better Call Saul started, it just completely brought all this back to full circle, right where the circle started. Everything that happened before Walter met Saul Goodman and such. I can't wait to start the 5th season. I'm really cranking through it, but it's such a good show. And who's the director and the writer? I forget his name.
Vince Gold.
Vince Gilligan. Is it Gilligan?
Vince Gilligan. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Robert Gould. Yeah. Vince Gilligan
and Robert Gould. Yeah. They're amazing. They know exactly what works and how to keep your attention. Absolutely. So yeah, besides Better Call Saul, I just watched episode 1 of season 4 of Stranger Things. Complete tone change. I wish the show was that the whole time, but whatever. But
so let me ask, what do you mean by tone change?
Just the gore. And because that last scene, I'm not gonna say what it is, but that last scene, with the girl and stuff, ceiling, whatever.
Yeah.
It was such a shock and stuff, and just how they film it, this cinematography wise, and just like the color definition that they use, it has a darker feel. Even during the day, it just has like this moody sort of feel, and not necessarily grays and touch tones and stuff, but just like you can tell everybody's not fully past everything that transpired in season 3, and I think it's like 2 years forward or something, or a year forward, or like I don't know the exact
1
time.
year, I think.
Yeah, 1 year and stuff. And you see like how much they've grown, but at the same time they're still stuck at when they were like 12, 13, 14 years old. So like the tone change instantly. You see like the direction of where this is going to, not like when you first start the show, or the episode really, but you see at the end like kind of the direction they're going towards. In season 3, I was kind of disappointed, but I loved seeing Uma Thurman, Ethan Hawke's daughter. Like, I'm a big fan of her. She's a really good actress. I want to see her in more things. But yeah, season 3 was kind of a letdown, especially like how
is that Robin?
Like,
are you talking about Robin?
Yeah, Robin. Yeah,
that's Uma Thurman's daughter.
Yeah, and Ethan Hawke. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So
I didn't even realize that. She looks exactly like Uma Thurman from Pulp Fiction.
Exactly. Oh, and I've heard this conspiracy that the last Tarantino film, like, is maybe going to be a Kill Bill 3 and wants to use her as, That's I don't know how. Dude. Yeah, but yeah, like she looks exactly like her mom, and you can see a little bit of Ethan Hawke in her too. But I want to see her in more things, and I'm glad she's in this season too. But episode 1 was crazy. Probably tomorrow I'll probably watch a few episodes and stuff. Like, how far in are you?
I finished the season.
Oh, you finished it? Oh, damn, dude.
Yeah, I finished it, bro. I had some time in Chicago. So this season is different. It's way different than the rest of it, and it matches with where these kids are, right? Because like all of them are like really close, and you know this, like when you're in middle school and then you go to high school, and then some of these kids are like beyond high school, like you separate, and we see that kind of in this group as they separate. You know, they're in 3 different places. Like we got what's his name in Russia, you got people in California, and then you got people in Hawkins.
Yeah,
like they're all separated and they're all growing, and they're all kind of growing apart. And that's kind of like the bittersweet part of like growing up, especially when you have a tight group of kids, is like everyone's going to go everywhere else. This happened to me too, like where a lot of my friends just like, we all went to different colleges, and that was kind of it. Like we stay in touch, but we're not ever as tight as we ever were at that one point in time when it mattered the most, when we thought it mattered the most, because we're kids, and it matters even more because they're going through these traumatic experiences at the same time. But dude, it's a different season. It's like the show is going in a way which I think is we'll see where it goes. Like I think it's good, where it's going away from like this Hawkins based thing to like a more global, like it's like feels like a world problem more than like a global problem, even though they talk about it as
it was a small town issue in the first like 3 seasons. It was like it never got out of that. Yeah
But I'll always say like season 3 was my favorite, because we'll see what season 5 and the rest of season 4 is, but I just love the fact that they're in a mall, because like that was my childhood, like just growing up in the mall, watching movies, like the whole, like just everything is there in the mall that you want. And you can hang out with your friends there, and you can run into your friends, younger siblings in a mall. Like the whole concept of it was just like dope. So I just love that part of it.
Yeah, hauling at the shorties, getting pretzel. Like the mall is where it was at, man. And it sucks how malls are just disappearing now. Like my kid isn't necessarily going to experience that.
What mall did you hang out at?
Okay, so so for 13 years I lived in Mesa. I went to Fiesta Mall a lot. I don't know if you remember Fiesta Mall.
That's my jam, dude.
That was the shit, right?
I got kicked out of there like 3 times for shoplifting.
Really? What'd you steal? Like out of that Sears?
CDs and DVDs and stuff. Like nothing. Like,
okay. Shit like that.
Yeah. No, I got kicked. And then one time I spit on somebody, but whatever. It was like spitting down. But Fiesta Mall, like everything happened to my life in Fiesta Mall. I got kicked out of there a bunch of times. I got lost when I was like 7 or 8 years old. Like I couldn't find my mom, and I had to like find her in the mall on the second level near the food court. I did all my shopping there. Yeah, dude, I did my shoplifting
Oh,
there.
okay. Let me ask you. So, do you remember that old Chicago, like little over the bridge? Like it's to the right, and then there was an island like at the corner, and then the Moore's Furniture for Less to the left.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I
yeah, you
remember.
remember that? So at that first light, you take a left and you go maybe a block, then you take another left. I live right there. So like
Oh, right
uh
there.
yeah, so I live right there. And you remember that building that was sort of next to Fiesta Mall? I don't know if it was a movie theater for you, but it was a movie theater for me for a little bit. It was like if you're coming
it
back
pro-
from that the islands direction and you go over that bridge and that big building to the left, like that was a
okay.
movie theater for me back in 2008 because I remember seeing Tropic Thunder at that theater. I know it was there in
Oh, really?
2008. Yeah. So I don't know if you were still there
I
at
feel
that
like that
time.
was like a hotel or a motel or something when I was there.
I can see it being a hotel. It probably was before then. But
Yeah.
yeah, when I was a kid, it was a movie theater. Now it's like a fucking like YMCA or something. I'm like, I don't even know what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it might
Fiesta
have been the
Mall was
wrong
my shit.
corner I'm thinking of, but yeah, I remember like there was some sort of motel or hotel. I can't remember if there was a theater in the mall though. But yeah, man, I mean, I just yeah, so that was the mall that we used to hang out at with, try to pick up girls, try to score weed, like do all this shit over there. Because I used to live like I used to live on like McClintock and Elliott.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so it's not too far from there. And now the other mall, now you have Chandler Mall and you have a bunch of other malls. So it's either that
Yeah.
mall or we used to go to AZ Mills.
Yeah, Mills, yeah. Dude, like I don't know the last time you were at Mills, but they added so much shit to it. Like they have like a whole Legoland thing.
Yeah,
There's a
I saw
SeaWorld
that.
thing. I mean the Rainforest Cafe is still there, which is funny. Like I feel like that's like the last Rainforest Cafe like
Hey
anywhere.
man, the kids love it, dude. I just take my kids there. They love that shit.
Yeah, with the gator and shit in the pond and
Yeah,
stuff. Like my
yeah,
dad, like I have a fear of snakes, and that python would be hanging there. My dad would always like fuck with it to like fuck with
yeah,
me. So,
yeah.
but yeah, like yeah, Mills was my shit. But then I moved to North Phoenix. Then I went to PV Mall, but PV Mall was kind of like an old person mall.
Yeah,
There
that
just
one
really
we
was much.
yeah.
Then it
I
was
used to
Fashion
go there
Square.
every once in a while because I used to go to school at Brophy, right? So
Yeah,
all my friends used to live in like the PV area, so we'd go up there. And yeah, that mall, I never liked that mall.
I met Jared
But
Dudley at that mall.
oh really?
Yeah,
That's funny. I
I
don't know
met
why he'd be
I
there.
met
You know,
him, his
I
wife, and
saw
his like
Sean
four
Marion
kids.
at the Best Buy. I saw Sean Marion at the Best Buy at 16th and Camelback.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, so he was there. It was
Oh,
It was like a few days before Christmas, and he was buying a present for his mom.
yeah.
And he's just buying CDs. He's buying like R. Kelly and Biggie and what this shit. And we're like, isn't that not age appropriate? But you know, I mean, I guess it
I'm
was.
an
His mom was
exposed.
only, yeah, yeah. He didn't know what else to get her, so he's just buying her CDs.
Man, you saw Sean Marion. I'm jealous, man. I'll take Sean Marion over Jared Dudley. Jared Dudley was
You know
really
what?
nice, though. He
Jared
was very
Dudley has way
respectful.
more, in my experience with Sean Marion, and then like anything you know about him, Jared
Uh,
Dudley is way better to talk to than Sean Marion.
oh yeah, dude, he's such a people person, dude. And then I
Yeah,
remember, like after I met him, he was on like Colin Cowherd like a few days later, and he talked exactly the same on that show that like he talked to me and stuff. And I asked him a
yeah.
few Suns questions and stuff, and Jared Dudley is a cool ass dude. Like if you see this dude, I'm not bashing you, but like it's Sean Marion. But
Yeah,
but
no. I mean, look, like Sean just wasn't at that point. Like he was like, I think he was a rookie that year. It was
oh really?
99 or 2000. Yeah.
Okay.
So he wasn't, and even during his career, like he wasn't great at like, public speaking and whatnot. I think
Yeah.
he had like he might have had like a stutter or something. I don't know what he had. But yeah, I mean, he just, and it's funny because like he was real with us because he was just like, yo, I'm just trying to get CDs for my mom's birthday or for Christmas or whatever. And we're just like, okay, like we're in the same section trying to steal some CDs, but okay.
That is hilarious. So the big question, which I'm guessing you've already hopped into it, was Kenobi. Just came out a couple weeks ago. Did they release the whole show, or is it a week-to-week basis?
No, they released 2 episodes the first week. They released the 3rd episode this week, so we're halfway through this series, which was supposed to be a movie. It was supposed to be like a 2.5 hour movie.
Oh yeah,
they extended it into this limited series, which may pick up another season. But if it's just this, whatever that we're seeing right now, like this is premium content. Like this is premium Star Wars content. And
are you surprised at what Disney has done with the Star Wars franchise and stuff? Because for everybody that doesn't know, I'm currently starting over with watching all the movies. I haven't seen them in a very long time, so I just finished The Empire Strikes Back. I got The Last Jedi to watch and stuff, but keep going.
Yeah, no, I mean, and so for me, like you can see my background right there. I got the New Hope, lunchbox right there. Yeah. So this is my jam. Star Wars, Phoenix Suns, Cardinals, LMU, Diamondbacks, whatever. But yeah, I mean, they went into this pocket of like everything that happens between A New Hope and then the prequel series, or they went in this pocket of everything that happened between the end of Return of the Jedi and before The Force Awakens. And they've created so much like compelling content, and it's so different than what we saw from these movies, because the movies are they're like westerns, right? Like they're sort of cheesy. They're not like, but like the shows are like really fucking good content. Like Mandalorian's crazy. Clone Wars, Rebels, what they're doing with Boba Fett. And then and on top of that, they're like, okay, well, we did 1 season of Boba Fett, we can do another one. And now they're talking about doing another season of Obi-Wan. And from what I've already seen, I'm like, yes, do that. Yes, keep doing this. Even though it's in a short like 10-year window or 15, 18-year window of like everything that happens, like it's just like they're really pulling on all the strings of all the things that we've seen from like the series, or like if you're like a deep fan, like they're pulling from like comic books, they're pulling like all these little red herrings out to make it like, oh, like that's like they did that because it goes back to that. So I'm just like, I'm in awe of what they're doing, especially like season. So I won't spoil it. I'm not gonna say anything anymore on that, because there's a lot of stuff that happens in episode 3 that is absolutely amazing. Beyond what happens in 1 and 2.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to Kenobi. I can't wait to get to Mandalorian. I didn't watch him because of what I just stated. I haven't seen the previous movies in such a long time. It totally just went over. And plus, as a kid, it was kind of a lot for me to process. Like I have a hot take a little later about some movies and stuff when we get into that. But since you're the Star Wars guy, I thought we can do this real quick. I know we're running a lot longer than we thought. Maybe we can do this real quick and get into the hot takes. Totally up to you. Yeah. I have all the time in the world.
Let's do quick. Let's do quick.
Okay. So let me do this real quick. I gotta share my screen again. For our listeners here struggling. Okay. All of these are ranked right here. All Star Wars shit that's come out besides Kenobi. And it was Lando. Oh no, Lando's in here. But did Lando come out?
You mean Solo?
Yeah, Solo. Oh yeah, that's right here. Okay. My fault. So real quick, for our listeners here, it's another tier maker. Someone actually made this one. I had to make the last one because no one had a Jersey concept one. So we have 4 tiers here: amazing, mid, wasted time, and refund. Okay. So I labeled those myself. So Amit, you're the Star Wars guy.
Can you make your screen full?
Let me see. Well, this is like
I think you're able to do it before.
Hang on.
Just go in the right corner. Can't you make it? Or maybe I can do that.
Well, this is like a minimized thing here.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, I can do it. I can do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
The New Hope.
So, I am the biggest Star Wars fan, so it's difficult for me to put anything other than amazing on this list.
Yeah.
But if I had to do that,
I don't know, but I found these results on
Google's doing some weird shit over here. I will take. So if I had to rank the best Star Wars content, so I'm saying, so let's say this list is amazing 1, amazing 2, amazing 3, amazing 4. Okay, let's just do that. Do it that way.
Okay.
So top amazing Star Wars stuff. Rebels goes in there.
Okay, Rebels, amazing. I love Rebels, by the way. As a kid, I absolutely loved
Rebels. Rogue One goes up there.
You were a big Rogue One fan?
Yes, I love it.
Where is it at?
In the middle, right in the middle.
This font
next
is
to
so
Solo.
small. Do you see it? Oh, right here, Rogue One.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I just grabbed it. Yeah.
Mandalorian goes up there.
Mandalorian.
Is Return of the Jedi here?
Yes, it is. It's right here.
Okay, I'd put that up there.
I absolutely love Return of the Jedi. That's what I'm watching next, but I already know this movie. Return of the Jedi definitely deserves to be in amazing.
Empire, I'd put Empire there too.
Empire.
Right, yeah.
Wait, no, that's Phantom Menace. Is
Left,
this Empire?
to the left, yeah.
Oh, Empire, sorry. Okay. Amazing too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm looking at, is that the Clone Wars movie, right? That's the Clone Wars movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is wasted time.
Wasted time. Wow. Okay.
Because they made a whole fucking series of like 5 or 6 seasons of a show that was like 100 times better than that.
Yeah.
But
if you could group the shows, just the seasons with the movie, where would you put it?
I'd move it up one tier. But the thing is, I would put Clone Wars above this, like the show above the movie. The problem with the movie was they just made it into like something that kids would watch to like get them interested in the Star Wars. And the show is like really dark. Like the show is like it goes into slavery. It gets into like these weird pockets of stuff with the Force, like some intricate things that you're like, it's not for kids. Like I would not show that to my son until he's like 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like I could show him this movie. This movie would be like it would kill 2 hours of his time.
Yeah, like I agree with that.
The movie added nothing to the story.
Yeah. It was just like whatever. Like the show alone was amazing to me. Like I watched it a lot when I was younger, and just the overall storytelling in that was amazing. But the movie was dog shit.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, wasted time when it comes to the movie, absolutely. But the show, like I guess mid or amazing, depending what your taste is. But yeah, I agree with that.
So, Attack of the Clones is wasted time.
You didn't like Attack of the Clones?
No, I mean, no, I liked it. So again, like I'm telling you I'm ranking on what you told me here, but it's one of the worst ones out of Star Wars. I mean, like the dialogue was terrible. The conversations between like Obi-Wan and Anakin were bad, and just like I don't know, it's just there were some things that were cool, like the fight scenes at the end. But like overall, I thought the movie sucked, and them getting married, it was weird too. Like they're like 10 years apart. Like it's weird when he's younger too.
So would you put it mid, wasted time, or
no? It's wasted time. It's wasted time. So if someone told me the synopsis of that, Jar Jar Binks becoming like the center, I'd be like, yeah, I don't need to watch that. Just tell me about it.
Okay, we have about like 8 left apparently. So keep it going.
Okay, so A New Hope is a mid. It introduced you to the whole thing. Well, I mean, I'm ranking it again based on like my fandom, right? So like, if you're talking to me about top tier, like this is next level. Like, yes, it introduces you to the whole Star Wars thing. That was the first movie I watched as a kid, and it opened my mind and opened my imagination to this whole world, and made me want to be like, Luke or like Han or whatever, right? Like wanted me to have a friend like Chewie, but like it wasn't like the greatest story. Like Empire really like was like the one that was like, oh fuck, like okay, like this shit's real time. You know what I mean? And in Return it was like, okay, let's like finish the story off. So that's where I put that. Let's see. Solo, I'll put mid too.
Okay. I heard
I
it was
think-
pretty mid. From a mass consensus, I heard it was pretty mid.
That's what everyone thought. I thought the story was great. Like I thought like, okay, you get Lando and especially when you get Lando as a what's his name?
Gambino.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Like that dude is so like he just pulls it off well.
He's so talented.
I thought they could have made a bunch of sequels off those two characters. That would have been really funny. In fact, I thought that
Wasn't Lando supposed to get his own thing though? Because that's what I thought.
It might be a prequel thing, but from what I know, it's not in production right now. But they could have done like a cartoon series with Lando and Han, where they keep trading off on the Millennium Falcon, because like they keep trading like who owns it. And I thought it'd been a cool like limited series where they keep like betting on it, and they could have done an animated series on it, rather than like a full-fledged like limited series. But I thought it was good, and especially if you get high and watch it, it's great. Star Wars, is that Resistance on the left? That's a waste of time. That's a waste of time.
Waste of time.
Nothing against the show and the animation and the storytelling. I just think like they put it in a really small window between. They put it right in between like I think it's like episode 7 and episode 8 or somewhere in between. It's like a weird spot, and it's like really like limited storytelling, and then we never hear of these characters again. And plus, they're not that compelling to begin with. But the animation is really cool. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the animation was really good in that.
All right, Clone Wars is amazing. You really have to delve into it and watch everything and rewatch it to understand, because it really ties back to the prequel series, and then it really like gets you into like the next series. Episode 1 is mid. Episode 1's mid. Although I'll say this, if anybody ever asked me like what, like if they just say like lightsaber fight scene, the first thing I always think of is Anakin is a Darth Maul, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon. Like that was by far the best music.
That was a great fight.
That was the best fight.
Yeah, like I'm not like the biggest Star Wars guy, but dude, that fight scene is ingrained in my head.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
it's a great scene.
I mean, that shit's great. Okay.
I always thought that Darth Maul looked like the Boogeyman from WWE.
The Boogeyman?
Yeah. Do you remember the Boogeyman?
I don't remember the Boogeyman.
Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Hang on. Let me show you this real quick. Boogeyman. Shit.
Is this like a recent guy?
No, this was like mid 2000s to like 2005.
Oh yeah. I remember this guy. Yeah. He was like dude. He would do like some like voodoo. Was this the guy that did the voodoo shit? Or
yeah. He did voodoo shit. Like he had like this whole like bayou, like swamp shit.
So he'd do like voodoo shit, and then the guy in the ring would be all like, "Ooh," like he would be all, yeah. I remember this guy.
Oh my god. Yeah, like he would just chug down worms and stuff. Like every time I saw him, I thought of Darth Maul, and they low key have the same vibe.
that if I had to see those guys scare shit of me. Yeah, so that's mid. I would say so. Here's where it gets to a weird point, because like people that like The Last Jedi. What's that?
And this is tricky here. Like these 4 right here.
Yeah, people that like The Last Jedi. So Revenge of the Sith is amazing. Just you can throw that one up there.
Is this one Revenge?
Yeah.
God, I can barely see. Yeah. Okay.
Revenge of the Sith. Go ahead and put Force Awakens in amazing too, because it was just like when they brought the whole thing back and they put the whole formula as the same formula that they had in the first, episode 4. It worked. It made it amazing. They made the effects better. They made the storytelling a little bit better. They made it compelling with the girl and the other guy. These two movies are the ones that everybody trips on, because if you like The Last Jedi, then you probably didn't like Rise of Skywalker. If you liked Rise of Skywalker, then you probably thought Last Jedi was like, you thought that the Rise of Skywalker was a course correction for The Last Jedi. Mm-hmm. I, being a Star Wars fan, I like both these movies for the differences. I really think that they both had so that, like, if you go to Last Jedi, there's that 20-minute scene where they go to the casino, the whatever that casino thing was. If you take 20 minutes out, that shouldn't have happened. Like, you didn't need that 20 minutes. And it would have made the movie better. There was some elements of the movie where, he's going against the Sith, Kylo Ren. The fight scene in the throne room was amazing. That's probably number 2 in my fight scenes. The fact that, there was just the whole different parts of the Force were being discovered in that movie. So now they can talk through the Force, like they're on, like, they called it Force time. People called it, memed it Force time, where they're just like FaceTiming each other, through the Force. Some of the elements with Luke Skywalker, but it doesn't like all 3 movies don't like add up to like a trilogy. Like, it's just, it gets weird because, like, the guy in the middle didn't direct the other ones, and the other ones seemed to fit with like the story that they wanted to tell. And so I liked Rise of Skywalker because it brought all the Jedi back together and it had like a common enemy. And I like the fact that it was the Emperor rather than like some weird guy that we, that dies in the second movie. But it just seemed a little like too like Goonies. Like, it was just, I don't know, like, it just, the elements didn't fit together well. And they didn't really follow like all the other Star Wars movies where, okay, like, here, now we find this thing and it's called a Sith Wayfinder. Well, no, they called it a holocron. That's what they called it. And everything else in the series was a hologram. So now you're calling it like a Sith Wayfinder or whatever. And there was just some weird stuff. Like, there's some weird, like, Avengers vibes, like, where like everyone's coming together to fight. And they're like, you got like people like in space riding outside of spaceships without like helmets and shit, like doing some weird, like, it was just, it's a weird shit. But for the nostalgic fan part of me, like, I still liked it. So I would put these both mid.
Okay. That's fair, because these two were pretty weird. I'm not going to lie. Like, this is so much content right here that you got to have some misses. Like, if you're going to pick misses, it's these two right here.
Yeah.
I like this list. Okay, I'm rewatching it right now. I'm still pretty familiar. We're gonna get into hot takes right now. Like this is the Star Wars nerd right here. Amit knows his shit here. So I watched The New Hope. I'm just gonna change this around. I love The New Hope. I love Rebels. Rogue One, I actually really enjoyed when it came out. A lot of people bagged on this movie. I don't know why. But Rogue One was great. Force Awakens got a lot of shit when it first came out too. I'm just going to put that there. I still haven't seen Mandalorian, so it's refund until further notice. Return of the Jedi is such a good one with the Ewoks, and then the chase scene like in the forest on the fucking little bikes and shit. I forget what they're called, but this is a great movie. Return of the Jedi. Okay, this is my first hot take of the night. I watched Empire Strikes Back the other day. I know this is beloved, but bro, it's mid for me. Like, it drags gets the praise that it does because of the shock at the end, no, I'm your father and stuff, and then no, like, and then and then it goes like another like 15 minutes of like whatever, whatever the shit after, with Boba Fett and Lando and all that shit. They fly off. Like, I was like, is that it? Like, this is what gets praised for that last scene, and it was so mid up to that point. And yeah, this was the shock of the movie, but like, I don't know. I just felt underwhelmed. Like, I knew what was going to happen, but I feel like I would understand the story more up to this point. But I was just like this is pretty mid. Like, what do you think of when I say that? Because you put this in amazing, and I feel like I didn't see your facial expression, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think Empire is probably my favorite Star Wars movie.
Okay, this isn't going.
And a lot of it is because no, you can have an opinion, bro. I'm not going to bash.
Oh yeah. Opinion. Oh yeah.
But like, I think that when I watched this whole thing, like, none of this other shit existed, right? So like, when you found out that Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's dad, it was like the all-time like fuck over. Like, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the fact that through the movie, towards the end of the movie, he starts talking to him through the Force and trying to convince him to join him. Mm-hmm. And then you realize at the same time, like, oh, like, Leia has the same connection to him. What does that mean? And you kind of put it together with Yoda saying, oh, there's another one in the Force. And then I kind of take it back to like Stranger Things, or some of these, like, my favorite shows on Netflix are Stranger Things, Outer Banks, and Cobra Kai, where it's just like all these high school kids, or like these like young adults, like getting into like these ridiculous situations that are like 100% unrealistic, but they're so fun to like go on these adventures with these kids, right? And I kind of feel like that's what Empire's like, where you have like Han, Leia, Chewie, and that group in one thing, and then you have Luke over here with Yoda, and he's doing his own separate thing, right? Yeah. And it's kind of like Will Byers in the Upside Down, and like the rest of the gang is over here trying to save him. So I just like the idea of like it's just like that whole like concept of like, it's just an adventure. Everyone's trying to do their own thing, and then you get these weird guys like Boba Fett. And Boba Fett, I always thought was overrated until they made the show about him. And then the show retcons the shit out of him, and they retcon the shit out of everybody. But they really make Boba Fett into a monster. Like, that dude's a fucking badass. But I mean, I Empire is always going to be, because it ends in a bittersweet point where, like, not even bittersweet, it just ends in disappointment, where you're like, he lost to Darth Vader. We don't have a place to go. Now he knows who his dad is, and it sucks. Han is trapped, and now we have to figure it out, right? And I feel like if you look at like the formulaic way that television shows are now, like Ozark or Outer Banks or all these shows I'm talking about, they have the same formula where it's like it never ends good. It always ends in this shitty place. And how do we get out of it? And then the next season gets even shittier. And how do we get out of that? You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just feel like it was groundbreaking at the time.
No, absolutely. And like me living like, like growing up in the 21st century, I've seen like the development and all this shit. Like the Liam Neeson Star Wars were like my time, and Clone Wars and stuff. So I completely understand that. But where I get stuck at is that Empire Strikes Back was the second movie, right? And I felt like in The New Hope there wasn't it was like little to no character building with Darth Vader. You just knew this guy was like the boss, all right, you just knew like he was the shit, and you figure out like the Force, and you figure out like who Luke is and all this stuff. But then you get into Empire Strikes Back, and then the only good scenes to me personally, I don't even like the Lando scene, honestly, but is when he's training in I forget the planet's name. Just with Yoda and stuff, he's learning the Force, learn the ways, of the dark and the good of it all. I absolutely love that character building. Then he just goes to the fucking Death Star or whatever Vader's at, and they scrap out. And then Vader like drops the news on him, and like for me, just like going into this again, kind of brand new, is like I couldn't emotionally attached to Vader like that, and just how groundbreaking that was. And at the same time, I wasn't fully attached to Luke at that point either. Okay. So that's just where I'm coming from. It like I know it's like the 80s and like the character building and writing.
It's a generational thing because like
it's a generational thing, really.
Every kid like growing up was like they wanted to be one of 3 people or 4 people. Wanted to be Luke, wanted to be Han, wanted to be Indiana Jones, or we wanted to be Marty McFly. Like that was like our like the
Marty McFly is probably the go-to.
Yeah, like those were the guys that we wanted to be. You know what I mean? I'm probably missing a few, but like that was it. Like those were like our heroes.
The Fonz.
Yeah, no, not the Fonz. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's anybody else, but yeah, those were the guys. Teen Wolf, maybe you can add Teen Wolf in there too, I guess.
Just like I just didn't feel emotionally invested at that point. Like I know where it goes in Return of the Jedi, and I know that it's going to pull me back into that. But I don't know. It was just underwhelming for me. I get why people love it so much. I really do. It introduces Yoda. You see a little more of Vader, and you see the Emperor for like 5 seconds, I think, and you meet Lando and stuff. But it was just sort of mid for me. I'm saving this. The Clone Wars movie is dog shit. That is like straight refund to me, honestly. And I'm throwing Resistance and refund too. Like the animation's great. Don't get me wrong. Technology is on their side, but it was kind of pointless watching that. I absolutely love Episode 1.
Okay.
It's just Darth Maul alone what carried the movie for me. He's just so memorable. And it's funny seeing Liam Neeson, honestly. Like,
dude, honestly,
I can't believe like
he carried the movie. Was good. To be honest with you, I thought Qui-Gon carried the movie.
Yeah, it's just like he's great in the series. It's just like being 21 years old now and knowing mostly Liam Neeson from Taken and like any other shooting movie that he's in. It's just funny thinking about like this guy was in like 3 to 4 Star Wars movies. But I absolutely loved Episode 1. I saw it when they re-released it and retouched it and stuff, and they like threw it in the theaters for a week. Like I love that movie. I'm keeping Episode 2 in Wasted Time. I wasn't a big fan of that either. I agree with your mids, honestly. I watched Solo. I wasn't really paying attention. It just seemed like to me. That's essentially my thing right now. I'll probably give Empire Strikes Back another try, another day. But I'm cranking through right now. I want to get to, just through all the movies before I make any judgments and stuff. But we're coming up on 2 hours here. Amit, do you have any hot takes just in the world by itself, or in entertainment, sports? Like, what's going on with you?
I will just tell you this, like we're getting so much Star Wars content over the next year and then future years in this same little pocket of window, right? So we've gotten The Mandalorian, which is between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. We're getting 3 seasons plus another 4 season at least. We're getting Boba Fett. We already got Boba Fett. We're probably going to get a second season of that. We may get a second season of Obi-Wan. We're getting Ahsoka Tano. We're getting Andor.
The Ahsoka Tano shit's coming out too.
Yeah. Andor's getting 2 seasons for sure. And these are all in these little pockets. And so, and then we're getting, there's a bunch of others. There was so many other things they mentioned on Celebration Weekend. But I'll just say this, like, if you're a Star Wars fan, like you're hopefully you don't get burnt out, because I'm not burnt out yet, because I love the storytelling. I love like what they're doing with the characters. I love that they're like going deep diving on like Obi-Wan and Boba Fett and these characters that we all enjoy. But then like, you know, these other characters that we may not like, Andor, like we may not really enjoy that. Some of this other stuff, we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully they don't go the way of Marvel, where like I'm like tuned out, bro. Like I'm done. Like I think Endgame was the peak. You try to hit that home run again with No Way Home. It was good. It was great, but it wasn't Endgame. It wasn't Infinity War. It wasn't Winter Soldier. It wasn't Iron. It wasn't like 10 of the other movies that they put out. You know what I mean? It was good, but it isn't great. I'm not going to watch Ant-Man movies. I'm not going to watch Captain Marvel movies. I'm not going to watch Miss Marvel movies. I'm not going to watch a lot. I didn't watch Eternals. Like I'm just so hopefully Star Wars has a better plan and I know they do, because the people that are invested in it are like super nerdy about Star Wars shit. But I just feel like I'll just say it, like I feel like Marvel's dead.
So I'm on the opposite side of Marvel, because I'm the Marvel guy. I've watched I watched everything, and I'm gonna give Marvel a pass because they're trying to create a multiverse sort of lane. That's what they're doing, and you're gonna get a lot of mid shit with that. I mean, it's kind of like how Marvel first started with the Edward Norton Hulk. They should have kept that Hulk originally, but you know, whatever. And then, you know, they had a character build with Iron Man and stuff, even though Iron Man was a big hit when it first came out. It was supposed to flop, honestly. Then the Thor movies, no one really liked the Thor movies until Ragnarok. Dark World was kind of trash, whatever. So they're basically trying to recreate a new universe, but instead of just one universe, they're doing a whole multiverse thing. So I think that's why they're trying to crank these shows out, just to get all that filler out so they can focus on Blade and Fantastic Four, like the shit that people actually want to watch and stuff. So I'm going to give Marvel a pass just going forward. As long as their major blockbuster movies hit, like I'm cool with it. Like these shows are just to, you know, fill the time, I think, because they're really trying to create something different. Like I'm sitting here on the edge of my seat waiting for the next Blade movie. I'm waiting for the next Fantastic Four movie. And I know it's going to be good because they fumbled the bag a couple of times when it came to the Fantastic Four. Did you see the new Doctor Strange movie, by the way?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
No,
I haven't seen it. I know about it. I know what happens. And I watched the Marvel What If series, which is actually one of my favorite Marvel
yeah, it was really good. Yeah,
pieces of content. And they captured a lot of that in one episode with Doctor Strange, where he starts like going into like the multiverse and doing all a bunch of weird stuff and accumulating powers from other beings and stuff. So I just and honestly, like I like the TV shows better than I like the movies. So I liked the one with Scarlet Witch and Vision, and I liked WandaVision. I liked that one better. I liked the Falcon and Winter Soldier better because I thought it was like a better story. Yeah. But I like the idea that so with the Disney stuff, it's like the shows are contained, like they don't inform the movies, right? Whereas like here, like you have to watch all the Marvel stuff to know what's happening in the movies. Yeah, like you can't watch like WandaVision and be like, oh, like okay, what? Like if you didn't watch it and then you watch, you know, Doctor Strange, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on? You're like, what happened to her? Like, exactly. Villain now? You wouldn't know that. Right? Or or you wouldn't know what's going on with Captain America and the Falcon, right? Like you wouldn't know that.
You'd be like, well, why the fuck is Falcon wearing like a Captain America shit?
Yeah, like, you'd be like, what's going on?
Yeah, like I had to explain that to my girlfriend, watching all this shit the last like year and a half and stuff, especially when we saw Doctor Strange. She's like, why is Wanda wilder now? I'm like, oh, because of WandaVision. Like I explained it to her essentially what happened, and she's like, "Oh, okay," but she was like lost for half the movie, and I
for sure, dude. People would be lost, and even if you didn't watch What If, you wouldn't understand what like Captain Carter is. They have no idea what Captain Carter is.
They'd be like, "Why is Peggy wearing this shit? And why does she have a jetpack and stuff?"
No, but so you have to. So they're making you invest in all this stuff. I think like Star Wars is the opposite. Is like, well, we're gonna make movies and other things, but if you want to really get into Obi-Wan, we got a whole series for you. If you want to get into Boba Fett, we got that. if you want to hear about this story about the Mandalorians and like what their whole history is, it's talked about through a lot of the series. But if you want to hear it in this one show, we're going to talk about it. So I just like that.
I love that lane. No, I absolutely love that lane. But like this is before like branch off shows even came out, like with all those movies and stuff. So like this is why I'm gonna give Marvel a pass. You're 100% right. Like I agree with you. Like if Marvel went the Star Wars direction, like crank out all the movies and drop those shows in between, just like if you want to see more of what Vision is, like you can fucking come here, whatever.
Like imagine if they would have done.
Like
imagine, I mean, I don't know how you would have done this and it still would have been successful, but imagine like they did a Tony Stark, like in the middle of Tony Stark, not like the origin story. Because the origin story, like that's probably one of my top 5 comic book movies is Iron Man, right? Yeah. Iron Man, Dark Knight, maybe Winter Soldier, Endgame, like maybe one other one, but like maybe the Batman, but like it's like let's say like you start him off in the middle and then you go back and do this whole like origin story of Iron Man, right? Which they did through the movies, but they had to de-age him and they had to like do all this other shit to make it work throughout the history of it. But it'd be a whole nother thing if they would have started in a place, because like we like for like Batman, right? Like we know Batman's story, we know Superman's story, we know a lot of the like these like the Flash, like we don't need to go in the background, like just get us into a time where shit's happening and then you can always go back and tell us a story later.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're 100% correct. Like I wish Marvel went in the direction like that, and what they're doing, what Disney is doing with Star Wars right now, it's a recipe for the future. But I do want them to space out their shows a bit, because I feel like people are going to get gassed, be a little too overcritical with the shows and stuff. But with the whole Marvel thing, I'm waiting for the big changes and stuff. Like I said, Fantastic Four, Blade, the Moon Knight series was really good. It was 6 episodes of pure great acting, and they fully captured Moon Knight and stuff. And he's one of the most underrated Marvel characters ever, because like Moon Knight's badass. But
I didn't watch it.
It's really good. Oscar Isaac kills it. But my hot take, since we're talking about Star Wars and stuff, you love George Lucas and everything that he's done and stuff. Me growing up, I watched all the Star Wars movies. I watched kind of everything that George Lucas has put out. I think Indiana Jones is by far the better series than Star Wars.
Are you including the movie with Shia LaBeouf?
No, yeah, I will, because it kind of comes full circle.
Okay, I mean that's a tough one. I love Indiana Jones, the concept of Indiana Jones, right? Like the whole idea, like he's this adventurous dude. There's a lot of racist and problematic things that I felt through those movies over time, especially even when I was a kid. I'm like watching when he goes to India, and I'm like, nobody eats fucking monkey brains in India. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is like such stupid shit. So off the wall thing. But especially like in a small village, like he's in a small remote village, like they don't have silverware and they're not eating like monkey brains as like a delicacy. It doesn't happen. That's just, I'm telling you that for a fact. Like I've been to small villages in India. My family's from small villages in India. Nobody has that kind of shit. We don't have silverware. We're not eating monkey brains. Okay. Most of them, like even like they don't have like closed toilets. Like there's still like open sewers and shit. So, and this is going up to like 2013. So, I love the concept of Indiana Jones, and I love like the adventurous part. I loved his character. I love that he was like this professor and he like did all this stuff. I loved Last Crusade. I loved what was the first movie called?
Raiders of
the Lost Ark. I love that one. Temple of Doom I had some issues with, but the rest of it was it's cool. Like I love going back. I love going on the ride in Disneyland. Like that's my favorite ride at Disneyland is the Indiana Jones ride. But I just feel like it's just dated. I feel like it's dated.
That's why I love it so much. It's because I'm a history guy. Like I can rattle off dates, presidents, all that shit. Like I've always been a history guy. So like watching Indiana Jones, it was one, more relatable, and two, it gives that Quentin Tarantino sort of aesthetic of like, oh, like it's a different sort of timeline, sort of like Inglorious Bastards and stuff. It's a different alternative to what things could have transpired. That's why I loved Indiana Jones so much, especially Raiders of the Lost Ark. Temple of Doom I actually loved. It's just like the religion aspect of it, the historical, like it's like just everything about it I loved so much. And then just the geographical stuff about it. I knew about that India shit. Like I was just like, yeah, that was sort of random, but I just thought the storytelling and just the character development and just overall flow of those movies were just a lot better than Star Wars, to me at least. But I mean, they're still both great franchises, but Indiana Jones, just like I can watch it like anytime.
And for real, like I have my perks about Temple of Doom, but I still like that movie. Like I still like like when they're on the ship and Dr. Jones, like the whole, I just like, it's just a dope ass movie. Like they're getting crash land, and I mean the movie itself is dope. Like there's just some like elements of it that are not like true to like the character of like the places that they visit. Even in like Raiders, is it Raiders when he goes in the, I think it's Raiders when he goes into like the jungle and like,
that's right,
like shooting arrows at him and stuff. I'm like,
I
mean, I don't know. Anyways, like, I mean, it's a great series, and the last movie ruined it. Kind of like the Sons, like ruined like everything for us. So it's like the same thing. I'm gonna keep going back to that. So it's like hard to like put it all together and be like, oh yeah, it's great.
No, I get that 100%. One of my favorite scenes of all time is they're in China. It's the opening scene, and it's the martini. He's talking to like the Chinese mob and stuff, and they're slipping the drink and stuff, and on the Lazy Susan, passing the diamond around and stuff. And then when it came to the overall escape, they used that big gong as a shield to go out the window. And then that little Asian kid was funny as hell. Like he was great. And just
that is like my favorite part of that movie. That part.
Yeah. It was such a good movie. Then when they close the airplane door and stuff, and it's that guy's face, and you're like, oh shit. Like, and like with the pilot's dip, and then they have to like, it was just it was such good writing and stuff. And I wish I was in those writing rooms when they were putting all that together. But yeah, Indiana Jones for me, just as a kid, like I absolutely loved that shit. But that was really my hot take. Besides Empire Strikes Back was pretty mid for me. But was there anything else you wanted to add before we got out of here?
No, I mean, like the parts that we're talking about with Indiana Jones is like the same part. It's like that adventure part, right? Like where you just see like these people doing like this really crazy like shit that like Navy SEAL should be doing, but it's just like normal people doing it, and it's like people that you can relate to, and it's just fun, right? Like when you watch Stranger Things and like, oh, like Dustin all of a sudden is a genius and he's solving all the world's problems, but he's still like 13 years old, like he's still in dipshit. It's just like fun, it's just so fun. So that's what I love about all this stuff. It's just the adventure and the fact that we can live in the world that these characters live in and enjoy it. And then we can always go back to it anytime, even if it sucks, right? Even if it sucks, one part of it sucks, we can always go back to the part that we love.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Well, I would say that's a wrap for our episode 1 of the He's on Fire podcast After Dark show. After Dark. Again, everyone that joined, thank you. I know we don't have anybody in here. It's kind of late, it's the After Dark show. People got to go to bed. But again, Amit, this has been great. I'm glad I finally did this, and I hope we continue to do this and stuff because ever since we started the regular pod and stuff, I've always wanted to talk about other things and stuff. And I have so many other hobbies besides watching fucking Phoenix Suns just crumble down, Cardinals just shit the bed and stuff, you know. And you're a movie guy just as much as me. Like you're actually like behind the scenes, and like you work at these places and stuff. And Evan has attachments to a certain extent. Like strong feelings about Star Wars and other stuff. So this was fun, and I'm glad we finally did this, and I hope we can keep on pushing this forward. Whatever works, but episode 1 is in the books. If anyone hears this, tweet at us some subject lines and stuff that you want us to talk about, because this show is sort of like an open book. There isn't necessarily a sort of direction. We're going to hit on sort of the same topics, but there's going to be filler in between. But if you guys have any controversial movie, show, whatever ideas, thoughts, tweet them at us, leave it in the YouTube comments. I'll take a look at them, and I'll add it to the next show, and I'll make sure to shout you out. But Amit, did you want to close out with anything before we got out?
No, that's it, man. That's it. We got episode 4 of Kenobi's coming out on Friday. It's gonna be amazing, I'm sure. I'll say a couple things. So anybody watching, it's not a spoiler. I'll just say this, that you might see some characters that have appeared in the prequels show up in this series. Not the ones that we know about, but there might be some other ones. That's all I'll say.
Well, man, I can't wait to get to Kenobi, honestly. Like, I may or may not watch Return of the Jedi tonight, but you can follow me on Twitter at JJoyce or Big Stepper. I talk a lot of shit on Twitter. I've been bashing Luka recently, and I'm on the Warriors downfall train right now. I really want to see it, and I know Steph Curry is overrated, so I want this to flourish the way that I want it to. And I think the Celtics are a really solid team, and I think they can really lock it down. There's a lot of good stuff coming out too. Thor: Love and Thunder. I really can't wait to see that. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Christian Bale as Gore. He looks amazing. But there's summer's coming. A bunch of things are going to be coming out too. If you guys have any recommendations of what to watch, movies, shows, whatever, just send it to us. Where can they find you?
You'll find me here at Sustainable Amit, and then on He's on Fire podcast. I try to keep it. Close to the vest because, that's how I roll.
The shoplifting Amit, he's not shoplifting anymore, but but
exactly.
Again, everybody, thank you for stopping in and stuff, and check out our regular pod on Sundays with Evan and stuff when he's hosting and stuff. But this was a good start to this branch off show, because we're gonna do this somewhat scarcely, but it's gonna be fun going forward. But remember,
he's on fire.
And we're just gonna keep on trucking through this off season. So thank you again to everybody. We're just gonna close out. I don't have the fucking outro, intro, whatever you want to call it. It's not where it should be. So again, Amit, have a great weekend. And we'll text back and forth about Star Wars, man. If I have some questions. So
all right, stay safe, everybody. Text me, bro.
Stay safe. Bless love.